Hey book lovers, I'm Aubrey,
And I'm Peyton.
and today we are discussing SJM couples for a little Valentine's Day special.
Yes, so join us for a cup of coffee as we dive between these paper sheets.
All right. Let's do it.
All right, everyone, welcome to this episode. We are in our SJM world right now, which is just the best world to be in.
Yes, let's stay here.
I feel like we get to do this every year and a half to 2 years, and man, this 3-week stretch of just living and breathing everything SJM is just it makes me so happy. I've been watching all of her interviews. I watched the Kelly Clarkson one yesterday, and
oh my gosh,
when they're over, I'm just like, wait, I need more. What do
Yes.
you mean that's it?
Kelly is also a queen for bringing book authors onto her
Yes,
show. Like I
she
haven't
is.
seen that before.
No,
yes.
but let's be real. Kelly has never read one of her books before. Just by the
No.
interview, she had no idea what to really
Yeah.
ask her, but it was a great interview nonetheless. And I mean, hey, I am obsessed. She got the Taylor Swift hype around Sarah, so
Yeah.
that connection was there, and that made me very happy. But with that being said, this episode is about our favorite SJM universe couples. But, there's some drama and spoilers that go along with her love plot line points. So all I gotta say is the spoilers for this episode will be the characters themselves and who ends up with who. So if you want that to be kept a secret, then, I don't know, maybe, be careful. But I'm sure you already know because, TikTok.
Yeah.
But we will not be discussing any plot points, nothing crazy that will spoil the actual content of the book. But if you know character A and B are endgame, then this episode we are just going to maybe talk about some spicy scenes we love seeing them in. But with no further ado, Aubrey, please introduce us.
Okay, we are going to start with the champions of the SJM world, the top couple, the highest hashtag rating couple, Farah and Rhysand. Of course, they are the best love story. I think that Sarah poured her heart into.
Yeah.
I have other characters who are my favorite, but if you're gonna talk about a love story that has so taken the heart of everyone who reads the SJM books, it's going to be the original trilogy of ACOTAR with these three. Watching Farah fall in love with Tamlin, and then that relationship turning sour, and I feel like so many readers got blindsided along with Farah.
Me.
Yes, I love seeing someone on TikTok recently posted a video because I love seeing when baby SJMers post while they're reading ACOTAR, knowing that everyone ends up hating Tamlin, but not understanding why.
Why?
And, when I read the books and I knew that Rhysand was endgame and Tamlin was the bad boyfriend, I went into it, I was like, oh, piece of shit. I never fell in love with Tamlin, so I had a totally different experience. But I love seeing the people who did.
Me.
I think that's yes, and I think it's obviously the way you're supposed to consume it. But anyway, so this girl was like, I don't know how anyone could hate him, and then she reads a passage from the book, and it's the passage of Tamlin being like, I just want to keep her in my house and watch her paint and never let her leave. And this girl's like, isn't this so romantic? And it's just, you fucking wait. Because, of course, when you're reading the first book, it does sound like he just wants to protect her. And I think that's what Farah needed at that time. She needed protected and space to become who she became. But then, he didn't continue to give her that space when he should have.
Freedom as she grew into herself and
her
fatum.
So we get a court of mist and fury. Arguably one of Sarah's best books,
if not the best.
Just because of the heartstrings that it pulls, where you watch Farah realize, oh, I'm falling out of love with Tamlin and falling in love with Rhysand as he cherishes her and lifts her up. and it's fucking beautiful. I'm not the biggest like face sand person. They're not my top shit, but like,
yeah, I was thinking today, like I have my favorite characters from all of the universes. I'm like a quarter of the way through Throne of Glass right now. So I have my eyes set on who's probably gonna be my favorite in that series, just by what I know, but stay tuned. But I've read all 3 Crescent City books, and I've read all of ACOTAR, that whole series, and I have my favorites, but man, you know, and Farah's not even in my top 3.
yeah,
I can't deny it. Farah and Rhys, like, they're it. They are the it couple. There is just something so captivating about their story, and like you know, I saw a TikTok that's a girl was like, you know what, I want to be like the other girls, because I think a lot of times, like, we want to find like our niche in literature, or like anything we love in life. We're like, well, I'm not like the other girls because I like this version of it. It's like, yeah, but when it comes to Farah and Rhys, you just like Farah and Rhys because listen, like that's the fucking story, and it's fucking brilliant, and it's amazing. And then I love to see like how she's kind of grown that with other couples in that world too, and it's not a carbon copy, which is very hard to do in fantasy. Because all the dark-haired, tall bat boys in our books always seem like they have the same personality, but Sarah has a way of separating them. Especially, I think Azrael and Rhys are more similar than like Cassian and Rhys. Like, I think Azrael and Rhys think the same way than Cassian.
They're distinct.
Yeah, it's that like very like strategic inner monologue speaking, where Cassian's just a strong man. But yeah, no, I can't. Sorry, I cannot. Farah and Rhys.
Well, and you know, I think that it's also kind of funny because Sarah J. Maas, like, we love her books, we love her whole universe, but Throne of Glass is this like high epic fantasy series. Like, there is the best thing that Sarah J. Maas does is her characters. She is a character queen, okay? Good. But in the Throne of Glass books, the point of that book is the epic journey you go through. It is like on that type of scale. And then Crescent City is this like mystery urban fantasy, whereas the ACOTAR books are firmly romantasy. Like, that is like 50% of their plot is the romance.
Correct.
Unlike the other books, which I think is part of the reason why you can't not love Faye Sand and the couples that come from that, because like that's the point. They are written as romance books, and
is the plot,
it's
is
so
the romance.
Beautiful. And I fucking love romantasy so much because you get to have
the best
romance story on an epic level.
Yes.
Like, the fact that like Farah and Rhys's wedding presents to one another were like old gods to fight in their war, like pop off.
Seriously, just I think Sarah in the ACOTAR series with these characters were able to show, was able to put in words what it feels like to fall in love in like a spiral of like uncontrollable feelings that she like put it into words and into like something I read and like see as a movie in my head, where I'm like, this just isn't fairy smut. This is like actual people in my actual life that are actually falling in love, and I am Farah falling in love with Rhys. Like, Farah is such an insert character for me that it's just like the Sagittarius. Well, her and I share a birthday, so like let's be real here. The Sagittarius in me, like it just clicks. It just clicks. The like bitchiness, the badassness, the like stupid bitch kind of energy sometimes.
You'd be a good Farah.
I need to like, that should be my like Ren Fair. Like, I am just Farah. I do. I think I have the look for it too. But I was like
Farah and Nesta for Ren Fair this year.
We literally are Farah and Nesta. That is hilarious. And I'm sure people were like, everyone right now is like, yeah, actually, that makes sense.
Actually,
That makes sense. But yeah, so I'm obsessed. I was thinking of this all day. I was like, I'm sorry, Farrah and Rhysand are just, for me, like, that is just it. Doesn't get better. But I love that she's been able to form these like new loves, which brings us to Lady Nesta.
Okay, listen, I have personal beef with Rhys, which makes me like Farrah and Rhys a little bit less. Not because of their relationship, but you know what he did, and I don't have to remind anyone. However, Nesta is my favorite person ever, and not spoilers, but if you read House of Flame and Shadow, the respect that was put on Nesta's name,
Yes,
she did
her good.
It was so fucking good, and I love seeing edits, and it's like Nesta and other people's POV, like bitch, whiny, like horrible, like all these horrible things, and then it's like Nesta and Bryce's point of view, warrior.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get into that in our House of Flame and Shadow review, but it is so, like, to see Bryce see Nesta the way Cassian sees Nesta.
Yes.
It's like, oh my gosh. Obsessed. Absolutely obsessed. Love Nesta. Nesta Cassian love story is amazing because Cassian, unlike Rhys was kind of manipulative in a way that he would change situations that Farrah would succeed, whereas Cassian would literally let Nesta fall on her face, but also Nesta needed that because Nesta, if Farrah's a bitch, Nesta is even more of a bitch.
Nesta's a monster.
Nesta is the monstrous bitch that they had to put in a castle and lock her away because she needed to do that. Because she's not really. She is a warrior. She is badass, and Cassian saw that in her, and we just needed to groom out the little fire, the little silver flame in our little Nesta. Oh my god, this relationship, I love it. I love it.
And the best thing for me is that, I mean, I loved Nesta in the original trilogy. I loved the moments where, like, Nesta in the first book, who she's terrified and hates the Fae and thinks that they're monsters, still tries to go to Prythian to save her sister. Like, people fucking forget that. But, like, Nesta has always been that girl. But she is a bitch. And she takes her anger and her self-hatred out on everybody. And what I love about Silver Flames is that it's her healing journey. And you can really tell how perfect Nesta and Cassian are together in this book because he shows up in the exact way she needs. He doesn't let her get away from her bullshit, but he also doesn't run and hide and stop speaking to her when she, like, messes up. And they, like, I don't know, I just feel like she needed to grow, and he was the exact person to, like, let her grow.
Yeah, I think, and I Sarah kind of, like, alluded to this in an interview once. Farrah and Rhys is the fantasy couple we need, we want, we look for, right? Yeah. They are the standard now. Like, they are the standard. It doesn't matter. Like, when I read Nesta and Cassian, you better believe I was comparing them to the way I was feeling when I read Farrah and Rhys's story. But Nesta's journey and her journey with Cassian, all magical aside, is more relatable on, like, actually what people go through in real life level.
Yeah.
Like, being dealt a shitty deck of cards and, like, hand, and, like, having to deal with, like, the shit that you have to deal with, and the people that come into your life, like, how are you gonna rise to the occasion, and, like, are you gonna let it break you or not? And I think that relationship is, like, so special to every reader. I mean, that's why people post videos of themselves crying, because they're like, I love the Brittany Broski stuff where she's like Nesta's a cunt, and then she goes, I'm so sorry. She's like, I'm sorry. And that's
she ruined the Christmas special, but
she ruined the Christmas special. Dude, I fucking love that commentary for that book because everyone's like, just wait. Like, people are like, I'm not going to read Silver Flames. And I'm like, not a great idea. You don't want to read the Christmas special. You're going to miss a little bit of, like, lead up to why Silver Flames is a book on its, like why we have a Nesta book. But, I mean, guys, you just have to, like, it's a must. You have to read that book. And so, man, I mean, Silver Flames, like, when I look at Silver Flames and I'm like, oh, Akamath will always be, I mean, Fourth Wing has topped Akamath. But Akamath is my second favorite book. And it's always been my first favorite book, but Silver Flames is right behind it. Like, I will take Silver Flames over I'll take Silver Flames over Iron Flame in a heartbeat. Like,
I love Silver Flames.
It was so good, and I love that couple. I'm obsessed with that couple.
And the dedication is for every Nesta out there, climb the mountain.
Climb the mountain.
Because it's just so perfect. Like, I don't know. I could talk about them forever.
We could.
We nothing really of value. But I think that Cassian brings out the best of her.
Yeah.
He, like, calls to the part of her that is kind and loving and strong and brave. And when she throws bullshit, he doesn't back down from that because I think he can understand that, like, that's her defense mechanism. Like, that's her shitty upbringing and trauma response.
Yeah.
And he makes her feel included. And I think back, like, Nesta sees Cassian, like, stand on his own. I feel like Cassian has these huge insecurities of, like, he's part of the Bat Boys and he's like, I'm just a brute. Like, I'm not smart enough. I don't have the position enough. Like, I'm surrounded by the most powerful people of the Night Court in the whole, like, Akatar world. And she's like, no, I see you. I want you. Like, fuckery sand.
This
like,
is
you
the,
are
like,
the person.
This is the badass Beauty and the Beast story that we actually asked for.
Yeah.
We were reading Akatar and didn't freaking get. And now we're getting it on, like, a badass, like, sexy level. Yeah, this book, like, is so... And Sarah always talks about how she's like, I have a hard time reading that book. Like, because she wrote that off of very personal experiences, and I think that's, like, so brave and, like, honest of a writer who has such, if not one, I don't know, they're huge fan bases, but right now in this world, like, in literature, it doesn't get bigger than Sarah's universe. Like, it is rare for you to run into someone and say, hey, do you know who Taylor Swift is? Everyone knows Taylor Swift. Most people, even if they don't read, know what Sarah J. Maas is because either their girlfriends have read Akatar, their moms, they see it everywhere. When you walk into a bookstore, it's the first book you are going to see, and rightfully so. Because here we are doing a whole podcast just on the characters and the love stories from her universe.
Yes.
But with that...
And if you are a Nesta hater... Fucking
how?
Sarah has said, I'm going to look right at the camera. Sarah has said that she relates most to Nesta's journey and conflict. So if you hate Nesta, you hate fucking Sarah J. Maas. And you should take back your word and delete all your nasty comments off of this video, off my TikToks, because the queen Sarah J. Maas says that Nesta is who she is. So shut the fuck up.
If people don't like Nesta, I'm like, did you even read Silver Flames?
Did you read it? Like, the fact that people can read that book and be like, no, I still hate her. It's like, okay, you just hate women then. You just hate women, and that's fine.
So, like, because as Phoebe Bridgers said, rotten piss.
Yeah. Like, they're the same people that are obsessed with Rhysand. And, like, my thing is, they, like, Nesta and Rhys are like this. Like, they are so fucking similar.
Yeah.
But the thing is Nesta had to go through a whole redemption journey. She had to apologize. She had to realize that what she was doing is wrong. Whereas everyone just praises Rhys. Like, every time he's horrible in the same exact ways, like, he's not catty like she is, but is controlling or, you know, manipulative or anything like that. They're like, yes, because he's a fucking man. Because he's a hot man and he's not a bitchy woman. And anyways, this is our Valentine's Day special. I think Silver Flames also shows great female friendship, and that's cute as well.
Yes, the female friendship. Like, Oh my god, that could be the best part of the book.
Yeah.
That Nesta like found not just love but like community, and not like Farah's community. She like formed her own.
Yes.
Which was like so dope.
Yeah, because I went into it and I was like, how is Nesta gonna fit in with the inner circle? Like, she doesn't like these people. They don't like her. And she doesn't. She gets her own girl group because, of course, that's what makes more sense. Yes. And it's so beautiful. And that's also, like, just as important as her male romance.
It is.
Ships, jumping worlds real quick.
Yeah.
So we can stay on topic with canon couples. We will dive into some of our ships later. We're gonna talk about Throne of Glass. However, as Peyton said, she's behind. I tried to pressure her into reading all of the Throne of Glass books before House of Flame and Shadow, but we had a really busy semester, guys.
Also had to read books for the podcast.
Yeah, and so it just we don't want to spoil too much, but real quick, we're gonna talk about the beginning couples. I want to put y'all on the fact that a certain witch and a certain ice-powered person are the best couple to ever exist, and I will die on that hill. And you know who they are if you've read that to the end of the series. Aelin and her guy are great too. Anyways,
yes, yes, I think I know exactly what you're talking about, but whatever.
We'll see. What book did you read last?
Crown of Midnight. I'm
Crown of Midnight.
On the pirate section of Assassin's Blade right now.
Oh, okay. So you haven't even gotten to my witch yet, but you just have seen TikToks about her.
Manon?
Yeah, Manon. I thought she starts Manon. In Heir of Fire.
Yeah, no, I haven't met her yet. But when Selena, also known as Aelin, which I called, by the way, so
I know. I literally just made a TikTok about lying to you about her. I was like, Aelin and Selena are not the same person.
I knew. I literally told you. I was like, I know. But anyways, when she goes into that like carnival thing and like kills that.
Oh yeah, Baba Yellowlegs.
Yeah, I was like, and they were talking about the like witches, and I was like, this is a plot point that is gonna come back when we meet that bitch. And I was like, this is coming back around. Yeah.
What's that Mickey Mouse sound like? This is a special tool to help later.
Yes, exactly. I was like, and I'm seeing that in Crescent City too, y'all. So I'm like,
yeah.
And anyways, so we're just excited right now. But there is a love triangle in the beginning of these books. There is a huge love triangle, and that is Kale, Dorian, and we'll just say Selena for right now. Okay? Selena. So we have those three. The first in Throne of Glass, she is like all over Dorian. You're like, oh, they are going to fuck. This, I know this is YA, but they are going to smash.
They are going to.
And Sarah writes YA love in a way that people, I'm not like, I love smut, and I think there's time and place for it. I don't think it needs to be like, JLA has a place in this world, and that is the time of the year I will give to smut. But other than that, I like the way Sarah does like smutty things in her YA. Like it's very It doesn't feel like I'm like dried up. I'm not like it doesn't feel like the well's not bursting. Like I feel good, and maybe that's just me evolving as a reader. But because I know a lot of times people make TikToks. It's like, I'm halfway through your book and there's not a single mention of a pickle. Have you ever seen those ones?
Yes, I have. I mean, I think if you're reading a romantasy book and there isn't like smut or kissing, like when I read Powerless, I was like, they didn't even kiss? Because it's a romantasy. But if it's not, like these are just YA fantasies.
Right.
There does not need to be, like, even later in the series when the characters start having sex, it's not sex scenes. Like, you're not getting Silver Flames, A Court of Mist and Fury type of detailed shit. And I don't think you need it. Like,
I just don't think it's necessary in these
I'm
books.
getting butterflies from these characters.
Yeah,
Like, if
and
I'm
usually
reading a romantasy, like, of course, I like a sex scene every now and then. I want to, read
Right.
that, but like, I don't need it in everything.
And I think the same thing in the Crescent City series. Like, there's explicit sex scenes in there, but there's not a lot. And to be honest, I sometimes I'm like, oh, I hope they don't have sex, because it ruins that tension I like in a story.
Yeah.
And once they smash, it's almost like, well, now what? And so,
which is why Silver Flames, them having like hate sex was awesome, because
Yeah.
the tension stayed.
yes, it's like you have to keep the tension, and I think
Yeah.
Sarah does a really good job of that even away. But regardless, we have 3 people. Dorian's the first one, and then in Crown of Midnight, it's like, who's Dorian? Kale is like, Aubrey fucking hates Kale. He saved the puppy dog, so you have to love him.
I've read the whole series. I read Tower of Dawn. I read his redemption arc, okay? I don't fucking care, because guess what? I hated him in book 1.
Yeah.
I hated him in book 2.
She does not like this man.
Listen,
I thought this man died. That's how much she hates him. I was like expecting a death scene in Crown of Midnight. I'm like, oh, he doesn't make it past book 2 then. Because you were like, oh, him. And I'm like, yeah.
Listen, guys, he fucks up in Queen of Shadows, and
Oh, okay.
Peyton's not there yet.
I'm not there
And he
yet.
gets his redemption arc.
Okay.
I never
just
liked him.
You weren't comfortable with it.
I read this book and was obsessed with Dorian. Dorian is my, like, not tied with Nesta. Nesta's on top. Dorian is my number 2 SJM character, okay? I fucking love Dorian. I want a Dorian romantasy book. I want Dorian sex scenes. I want to be with Dorian. Anyways, and that was from book 1. That was from right out of the gates. I fucking loved it. He brought her chocolates.
This is insane.
He played the piano with her. If you guys don't know, I played the piano. I was fucking obsessed with this prince who was going to burn down the world for her and was fucking amazing. And then at the end of this book, after all of that romance, Selena literally is like, I should look for it.
I don't
and be
like you anymore. I know.
Actually, I don't think I should be with the prince. And then she like turns to Kale and she's like, but you're not out of the question. And I was like,
that bitch pissed me off. I was like, what? She's like, we shouldn't do this anymore. And I was like, and then the whole second book in Crown of Midnight, they're like boys. Like, they're boys. And so
yeah.
Kale and Dorian's like, we'll just make her happy. And like, it's like awkward. And now it's like, obviously I know this is gonna come back around, but now it's like, well, none of you get her now, and you have to take care of her damn dog. Basically, she just leaves baggage. Like, Selena walks into a room and just dumps her baggage everywhere.
Do not come for me. Only come for Peyton on that statement. I will not comment. I will not trash talk Aelin Galathinius on the internet. You are brave, babe. You are brave. I do not agree. That is my main bitch. She is. I will ride or die with Aelin Ashever Galathinius.
Listen, when she walks into that castle, there's no one more badass. I will agree. But, like, she causes some issues because of her strong personality, and people have to cover for her a lot, and you're just like, man, you're lucky he thinks you're hot. Like,
okay.
I'm not
wrong what you're saying.
I don't know,
also,
later in the series this may change, but as of Crown of Midnight,
that's actually an issue that I have with all of Sarah J. Maas's characters, is that, like, Sarah J. Maas does not write characters who have any type of political finesse. None of her characters can keep their shit together.
No!
They're like, in the big epic war meeting in Akawar, they're like, oh, we all have to go in poised and confident. And then who loses their shit? Every single one of the Night Court characters loses their fucking shit. These characters have no finesse. They would not survive Game of Thrones. They would be executed on spot in Game of Thrones. They cannot play the game. None
No.
of her characters
They
can
get
play
so-
the
and
game.
I understand that like causes like a plot to happen, but like when
It
she's like
annoys me.
sailing off into the sunset, that's like I tricked you guys, and then
Yeah.
there's these like at this point in the series, I feel bad for both of them because she literally was like, played ya, see you later. Like, badass on
Okay.
her part, but also like,
They are the son and the captain of the guard serving the king who like brutally murdered her family and her kingdom and enslaved her and
yes,
is like
correct.
horrible and stopped magic. Like they did a lot of bad things that warranted her.
But she also is the one that like manipulated them now into like following
Who
her, which is so badass. But also, like she just is like boom, boom, boom. Like in this book, she's like, "Are you gonna take care of that body? No, we don't want to cause a scene." She's like, "Cool, I'll take care of it." Like
I got it.
she's like, "Got it." Anyways,
Oh my gosh, it's not.
I'm
I don't think
excited.
it's in those books, but I love the quote where it's like someone's name. He's not around anymore. 'Cause I gutted him. Like she has like the assassin when the assassin comes out.
Yes, when these
Beautiful.
yeah, in my head I had Aelin as a certain character, but knowing like when she comes in with like all those shopping bags and she just is like, I'm sorry, but at least in these books, that girl is a mess. Like she is just a mess, and it is so relatable.
Yeah.
You guys don't understand how relatable Aelin is for me. Like this
Yes.
is so relatable that I'm just like, that is me. That's awesome.
No, I think Sarah
Take
talks
name
about
and then
how
go shopping.
yeah, that like Aelin is her darling. Aelin is her favorite character ever. Aelin is who like
her first baby.
might not be the insert character, but who she wishes she could be. Like, long live Aelin.
Long live Aelin. Okay, moving forward here.
Okay.
Let's now we kind of have our ideas. Aubrey hates Kale. Whatever. Dorian's cool.
Dorian
see.
is hot as hell.
I will follow back up with my thoughts. Cause wow.
And will you bleed red or blue? I'll bleed whatever color you tell me to.
Okay.
The girlies know. You don't know, but the girlies do. Okay, jumping into the world of Crescent City.
I should keep my mouth shut.
Okay, we are not going to majorly spoil anything that happens in this last book because obviously it has just came out. If you want spoilers for that last book, next week we will have a reading vlog and a book review. They're all coming out and we're super excited. And I was sick as hell this week, which is why we're doing a Valentine's Day special instead. If you can hear it in my voice, I'm still a little stuffed up. But looking at the couples in this book, our main couple is obviously Bryce and Hunt.
Bryce Quinlan, Hunt Appler. Every time, every character, I'm gonna be like Rune and Lydia. Okay, so Bryce and Hunt, love them in book 1. Love them for half of book 2.
Yeah.
Can't stand them in book 3.
No,
We're not gonna talk too much about it. You know what? They're cute. That's all I gotta say.
Are they? Like, honestly,
in book 1 and book 2.
But not even book 2. Literally,
I said half. I said half of book 2.
Yeah. I got book 2, Crescent City, Sky and Breath, as soon as it came out. This is actually like part of the reason Peyton and I started like bonding is because I came into class. It was our first class I had together, and I knew because we talked to each other on like a icebreaker thing, like Zoom class, and I knew that she said she was a big reader, and so I went into class and I left my copy of Sky and Breath out and I didn't put it in my back. I never told you this. I purposely left it out of my backpack and had it out to see if you'd say anything.
Aubrey's got Riz.
Like,
the Rizzler.
trying to like secretly seduce a new friend.
Yeah.
And then she did, and she's like, oh, that just came out, didn't it? And I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, I'm reading it. Haha.
I think I was on like Acco Math at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were definitely still in like the Akatar series.
Yeah. Yep. I was. Yeah, because I remember you telling me about what Crescent City was about. I think that day. It was like our first time like walking after class with each other. Yeah, and I was talking about Akatar. I could have been like on Akatar.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, so like I purposely left it out so that way she'd talk to me. But I read half of it and then I had to put the book down and I like read other things. Actually, I read the Cruel Prince series, which is my favorite thing ever. And come back to it because Sky and Breath is so fucking boring. But yeah, also, even then, their like Hunt and Bryce's relationship was killing me.
Yeah, it's kind of bad.
It was so bad. And there was a scene in Sky and Breath where like Hunt's like not standing up for Bryce, or I don't know, he's doing something and being like kind of a shitty boyfriend. And like some of the frat boys and like Therian and Ethan are on a couch in Bryce's apartment. And Bryce and Hunt's like, I don't know, maybe I should have gone to the gym with her or something like that. Like Bryce was like, hey, can you show up for me? And Hunt was like, no. And like Therian or someone turns to Ethan and is like, what would you have done? And Ethan's like, whatever she wants me to do. Like, I'd follow her anywhere. I'd always choose Bryce or something like that. And I'm like, am I shipping Bryce with the golden retriever over Hunt?
I know. Like, that's so not like a fantasy reader. Yeah.
I was like, is anyone a better option?
I love a brooding male. But like, oh my gosh. I was like, he is.
But you don't love a whiny bitch.
No. But yeah, Crescent City... I like the first book was good, like where he had like spy on her and the tension and the next couple I'm like, if he died it wouldn't be, I don't want him to, but like if he does there could be other possibilities. That's what I'm gonna say.
I think she rushed their relationship.
Yes,
at the end of Earth and Blood, Hunt is literally like plummeting from the earth, dying for her. And it's like, wow, that was quick. And then in the second book, she tries to slow it down and be like, oh, we made a no sex pact, which made no sense. And then like they had sex and it was weird and they kept teleporting. And I just feel like I lost all interest. Like part of the reason why like Farah and Rhysand are so cool is because the first book is her falling in love with Tamlin, and so the second book, like it kind of like prolongs the relationship and we don't spend as much time with them as just a couple, so the tension doesn't get lost. Whereas these bitches got together halfway through book 1 and now it's like book 3 and they're just bitching.
I just want to see the enemies to like lovers plotline a little bit like, you know.
And I feel like you can keep tension in a relationship when the characters are together. Like in the From Blood and Ash series, no spoilers, but 2 characters get together fairly early. I mean, it's going to be a 10-book series by the time we get over. And but I'm still rooting for that couple to be together. I still like seeing them on screen together. My biggest complaints with the book is actually she keeps separating them and it's annoying. Whereas like here, I'm like, no, Hunt and Bryce, they can spend more time apart. That's fine.
We don't need to combine because if they see each other, they're going to have sex. And then I'm going to have to read the sex scene, which usually is really cringe. And we're going to have to get into that for the review. I'm so excited to talk about the sex scenes.
Okay. So anyways, we're not the biggest Bryce and Hunt stans.
It's like, I'm cool with it. But I don't feel passionate about them. I feel very passionate about Bryce Quinlan. That bitch.
I love her.
Oh, she's like, man, would I date her? Like, she is hot. Like, she's just so cool and calculated. That girl always has a plan. Like, and they made a point of it in this book. Like, she just, like, she is like Nesta energy. And so it has been so cool to see them interact. But, oh my gosh. I got scared for a second because I'm like, are we talking about that? But we literally talked about that earlier in the episode.
Yeah, I feel like that's early enough. Like, Sky and Breath ends with her and ACOTAR, so that's
It's
fine.
like sorry, not sorry. But
it's not I wouldn't want to say too many plot points for that, but yeah, that's fine.
yeah, but they're kind of like I really hope that, I don't know, in a perfect world they'd be like besties that would like hang out on the weekend.
Yes.
Because they're so similar in like their own way.
Mm-hmm.
But the same shit Bryce
really
would do,
friends.
Nesta would do, and Nesta knows that.
Yes.
And so you see that like inner monologue in their head, and you're like, y'all are just two badass bitches who should date each other.
Who should date? Oh my gosh, I really want Bryce with Az. Listen, I know Az is shipped with everybody.
With literally everyone and their mother.
It's very early. It's within like the first 20 chapters of Flame and Shadow. But Bryce interacting with Azriel is fucking amazing.
Yes,
and
their
Sarah J.
banter.
Maas had them hold hands. I'm sorry. She writes romantasy. She writes couples all the time. If she didn't want me to ship them, she wouldn't have them hold hands.
Also, we've talked to some other people, and other people were like, yeah, what was that about? And so, like
I don't think that they were romantically holding hands in the situation that was at Crest.
And I also know she was attracted to him because of the blade.
Truth
like,
teller. Yeah.
But part of me just wanted them to be like chemically connected to each other. Like actually, you know what, Sarah, if you want to keep the Azriel, Cassian, Nesta threesome hidden on your computer to the end of time, that's fine. Release the Nesta Bryce Az threesome in the cave at lunchtime.
So much rather read
that. It's like that when they stop to eat cheese and shit.
Yeah,
they just start begging. There's a part in Flame and Shadow where Bryce comments on his wingspan.
I don't remember
that. Yes, I think I highlighted it where Bryce comments like, and his wings took up the whole cave, and I was like,
oh yeah,
and I was like, they're gonna fuck. Hunt is dead. Bryce and Az to the end of time. But as far as actually like talking about who we're shipping with Az, literally anyone but Elaine, and I'll be happy.
I feel that so hard. Okay, and they released, I guess Sarah said sometime in some interview that the next ACOTAR book, which is coming out next, is going to be Elaine and Azriel's book. But I want to point out that does not mean that Elaine and Azriel are going to end up together, if that's true.
Correct.
Because, speaking back to fucking Kale, Tower of Dawn, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but I don't care. Tower of Dawn, when that book was marketed, it was probably marketed as a Kale and Nesrien book. Kale and Nesrien do not end up together at the end of that book. And but they start kind of almost together. So I feel like the likelihood, as much as I want Bryce and Az together, the likelihood is that the next ACOTAR book is going to start and you're going to think that Elaine and Az are going to end up together. But throughout the path and journey of the book, realize that Elaine is better suited with Lucien and Azriel is better suited with Gwen. But who knows?
Who freaking knows?
Who knows?
Who's our next shipper?
Yes, before we get too far off of Crescent City.
Oh, yes. Oh shit, yes, let's go back.
Rune Danon, Crown Prince of the Valbarian Fae. Oh my god. I stole everyone's hearts with Chapter 3 of Sky and Breath, guys.
Literally. Oh, by the way, I just want to add this in here real quick.
Yeah.
Sarah showed us exactly how to do a she did exactly what Rebecca Ross didn't do in Divine Rivals with Agent Daybright, and we loved that plot line of like not knowing that it was, behind the whole time and it was Lydia and all that. That's how Divine Rivals should have went. just from one person's point of view. But anyways, I am obsessed with this couple.
Yes.
I think they are so freaking cool.
Oh my gosh.
Loved Lydia's character. Loved that character evolution.
Yes.
Can we get a round of applause for, like, snap some fingers for, like, Sarah? That execution, and then, like, oh my gosh. Anyways,
So
crazy.
beautiful. I also
Please go read the book.
I love that House of Flame and Shadow. Like, there's so much shit going on, but whenever you're in a Rune POV, it's just like Lydia. Like, they're literally living their own little fairy tale romantasy while, like, the world ends for everyone else. And just seeing, like, them, like, fall in love, and then, like, he realizes it's her and he hates her, and then, like, has to, like, reevaluate who he thinks he is and who she is, and beautiful.
I am obsessed with them. I ship them, yes, more than Bryce and Hunt. That's how much I ship them.
Yeah.
Yes, love. I have nothing more to say because there's a lot of spoilers with that and Lydia's character, because there's such an evolution with her character. There's a lot of spoilers, so I don't really want to say too much, but love. I'm giddy talking about them. I'm happy Rune found someone.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay, let's go to our last ship, because soon I will be in the darkness.
Yes, the sun is setting.
The sun is setting. It is still winter. Okay, we have more. My girl. I wish I would have seen her a little more in Crescent City, but it's okay. More.
I honestly,
Come on.
I have no idea who to ship.
More in Elaine. What? I want Archon sister should be gay. That'd be so great. I would love that.
As much as I have this huge theory that Mora's book would be the Little Mermaid book, and because she's escaping, like, the hewn city as, like, the under the ocean, and then finds her voice going out to, like, talk to, like, the new mortal queens and stuff like that, like, all of those stuff that she was doing in Silver Flames that we didn't see on the page. But honestly, truthfully, I don't think Sarah J. Maas is gonna write a book where the main love interest is a gay relationship. I love her, but I think she's gonna write what she knows, and what she knows is straight couples, and I think we could see it on the side, like we see.
Yeah, I don't think Moore would ever get a book. I do think she'll find someone though.
Yeah, I think so too. I just think that it's going to not, like, I would love it if Moore gets a book or a little novella. I mean, I'd eat it up. But also, I'm a little bit more concerned what the fuck the power of truth is at the moment to be, like, fully shipping her with someone. I just don't think we've seen a lot of good options.
Yeah, I think that maybe her love is outside of the walls of Printheon.
Maybe.
So, I'm interested. I know, because for the longest time until she came out, I was like, oh, Moore and Az are so cute. It's like, no, they're like brother and sister. Stop shipping them.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Also, like, why would you, Az kind of annoys me, because why would you pine over someone for 500 years? Like, that's just
a
like
lover
300
boy.
Too many.
He's a lover boy.
I know.
We love what we can't have, and he literally
so
can't have her.
attached to these ideas. Like, I think he literally only got over Moore because he found Elaine to crush on, and I think, like, once he realizes, like, he needs to just stop having these, like, romantasy, like, crushes in his mind. He needs to get out of his Delulu and find someone that he, like, actually connects with, and isn't, like, a fun fantasy. Like, there's 3 Archeon sisters and 3 bad boys. I should have Elaine.
No, I honestly don't.
I hated being in his head.
I don't want an Az book, to be completely honest.
I don't ever want to be in his head again.
No, I don't
if
either.
you read the Silver Flame bonus chapters, don't. If you haven't yet, don't, because it is torture being in his head.
It sucks because Azriel's my favorite character.
Yeah.
And I just love him so much, and I just anyway, so Moore's like a question mark. We'll see. I kind of want to be surprised by that one. I want to be surprised by Azriel's too. But with that being said,
yes,
those are the couples we are going to talk about. I'm sure we will do an updated version of this at some point. But listen, it is getting dark here in this chica's apartment. I believe my battery's about to die too. Oh, 2%. Let's go. We made it. All right, everyone. We love you so much. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to see next. And of course, be freaking ready for the Crescent City 3 review. It is coming out so soon. We will be filming it ASAP. Aubrey and I have not talked a lot about it, so let's go.
I know. It's killing me. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining us, and happy reading.